FinancialWormholes.com. Get off the paycheck-to-paycheck hamster wheel and start enjoying life like the mega rich. Go to FinancialWormholes.com. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything. Do it today, and tomorrow you could start living the good life. FinancialWormholes.com. That's FinancialWormholes.com.
The nation's top infectious disease expert on what's next for vaccines.
Dr. Anthony Fauci and ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton answering questions about booster shots and children with COVID. Fauci saying child hospitalizations are up.
We can't take that lightly, and that's the reason why we feel strongly about getting them vaccinated.
He pointed to Pfizer's plan to offer vaccines to children as young as 5 as the right way to go. But on boosters, Fauci addressed whether they'll turn into a standard vaccine dose from either Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson.
You want to be careful because you don't know yet if this is going to be the proper regimen.
He says the research is ongoing. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
An HBO producer refuses to film in Texas.
David Simon is the creator of The Wire and several other critically acclaimed HBO shows, and his upcoming series is set in Texas. But he says on Twitter he won't shoot it in Texas because of the new abortion law, writing that he won't ask female cast and crew to forego civil liberties to film there. A bunch of responders pointed out that a boycott only hurts the industry and workers who live in the state, to which Simon responded, it's not about a boycott, it's about protecting his employees. He says he can't ethically ask women to relocate to a state that would deny them rights. Jason Nathanson, ABC News. Hollywood.
Washington National Cathedral says artist Carrie James Marshall will design new stained glass windows with racial justice themes to replace ones with Confederate imagery. This is ABC News.
If you're suffering from cold, flu, or COVID symptoms, you need an accurate temperature reading as quickly as possible. Fever is a leading symptom of both the flu and COVID-19, so the sooner you rule out the common cold, the better. Use the Exogen Temporal Scanner, the same thermometer used by medical professionals millions of times a day to accurately detect fever. Learn more at Exogen.com.
Exogen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Malloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Rakovich as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Malloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere. From County Line Road to the Indiana Line. From Reed Road to Boughton Road. Football is king. High school football 2021 on 1340 WJOL.
And good evening and welcome to the Week 5 edition of White Sox Talk here on 1340 WJOL. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about high school football tonight, too. But, again, welcome aboard, everyone. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodagero. Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen, spinning the dials behind us. And, again, just excited to be back here another week. And, Joe?
Yes, sir.
I just feel like a weight off my shoulders. It's a wonderful feeling right now.
I got a call last night, Evan, from this guy. He says, well, it's either going to be a great show or a crappy show.
It might be the worst show we've ever had, or it might be a great show. Why? Of course, if you've been hiding in a cave and you are aware, the White Sox clinched the American League Central today, which is very important to 2 out of the 3 people in this room. And the third person walked out in disgust already to start the show. So, again, we are here for the next 2 hours. Will we talk White Sox? Sure, we'd love to. We will also talk IHSA football, certainly here in the Will County area and beyond. This show and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our friends, State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And, of course, the WJOL Game of the Week. It's a dandy. First of all, you have to start your evening off with Evan Bredesen on Friday Night Lights. That is a 6:05 pregame show. The best in the state. And, Evan, sadly to report, I don't think I'll be with you again this week. bummer. I have a 6 o'clock kickoff again.
Oh, you
Boo
dog,
for
you.
me. But you can catch all the pregame warm-up and information from Evan on Friday Night Lights. Then, of course, our WJOL Game of the Week. Crete Bonee, the Warriors march over from the east end of Will County to take on Joliet Catholic at ATI Field and Memorial Stadium. Set for a 7:30 kickoff. And, Joe, I am very excited and happy we changed this game because this has a chance to be a really, really good game tomorrow night.
I most certainly was too when I found out on Monday. And just looking forward to this great matchup. Probably one of the better matchups in our area on Friday night.
Yeah, there's a couple. We're going to get into them.
There is. Oh, yeah, I know.
We're going to get into them over the next 2 hours. We have open phone lines for right now. So if you want to call the show, 815-254-7300. If you want to talk IHSA football, upcoming matchups. You want to talk about who we've seen, who I saw last week. Of course, I was out at HF. Saw the Lockport Porters take on the HF Vikings. I certainly can give you some insights to what I saw in that game, Joe.
Yes, sir.
You had a very strong game as well Friday.
Joliet Memorial Stadium for the Hilltoppers and the Celtics.
It sounded like Providence kind of came out early and was doing some good things, but then I think JCA just kind of woke up and kind of rolled.
The two turnovers, especially the one right before halftime, absolutely killed Providence because Joliet Catholic went right down the field and scored to make it, 28-0, and then they scored on the first possession of the third quarter, and that was it.
What if you're Coach Coggs? What has to happen over the next few weeks? I mean, you're playing Marion Central Catholic. That pretty much just about everything available on the schedule is a must-win at this point.
Right. The next 2 weeks are must-wins because we mentioned Loyola, Rita, and last week. I got my notes right here. Hold on for 1 second.
Brother Rice, maybe?
Brother Rice. Yes, Brother Rice. So these 2 weeks are very important. Again, Joliet Catholic just in the second half made some adjustments defensively, and Providence just could not move the football at all.
Yeah.
And again, their defense got tired. And as you said, in the first quarter, they were staying right with them. But then those two turnovers, as I mentioned before, absolutely killed them. And I just think more consistency on offense, maybe keep the running game, trying to keep the running game going. And defensively, it's just hard to stop Joliet Catholic once they get rolling.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Joe, we have to go out to the phone lines. We have to officially kick the show off.
There he is.
Our guy Bob joins us. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Hello, Bob.
Bob,
Joe.
Always appreciate your phone call. Tomorrow night, back out at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Bob, here's a question for you. Has this Hilltopper defense been pushed yet this year by anybody?
No, not that I've seen so far.
Okay. What is your biggest concern going into the rest of the regular season for JCA, or is there a concern for you? Are you feeling that confident?
My concern, for instance, I'm watching Mr. Ross, if he tries to overdo too much stuff. Like, sometimes he gets messed up and runs 15 yards backwards instead of taking what he can get and be satisfied.
And what Bob is referring to, and Bob, you were there as much as I was there doing the game. In the third quarter, the first possession Joliet Catholic had, Aiden went to drop back the pass. I don't know if it got mixed up in the huddle. He dropped back like it was a pass. There was really nobody out there. He went backwards about 12 yards, almost got tackled. That would have made it third and about 20. He managed to gain some yards to make it 3rd and 1. And then down a couple more plays later, he scrambled around to the Providence sidelines and got a first down. But that's what Bob's referring to. He retreated back at least 10, 12 yards. If you'd have got sacked back there, I mean, it was 28-0 again. Right. But again, it was a situation where sometimes Aiden tries to create some things. Although after the first couple tosses, he was really, really threw the ball well.
Yeah.
After that.
And you guys know this. I don't have access to the schedule right now. Has anyone hung with JCA more than a half yet this year?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I think going into a game this week with a team like Crete, I think that's got to be a concern.
And again,
you really think Crete could score that many points against us.
Again, I haven't seen you, Bob, so it's hard for me to comment. I will attempt to get
I
that.
don't think they're going to score 78. They played what? New Trier East?
No,
New Trier?
no, they played.
Or Thornton?
Yeah, they're Thornton and Thornridge, so they're in conference. But Bob, I tell you what, this is a Crete team.
I know they're explosive. I'm not going to say they're not, but
they played some really good teams on their non-conference portion of the schedule for the exact reason we talked about, the fact that they might roll that conference a bit, but John will have those kids ready. It should be an interesting game.
They had a good program. I'm not going to be nothing away from their program.
Yep. Bob, what's on the menu?
Oh, I'm going to make some potted chili and chili dogs. Got some cornbread.
See, it's fall.
I'll be there 5:45.
It's fall.
Be right there. I'll be ready.
All right.
It's fall. He's breaking out the chili. The weather turned a little bit cooler, so Bob's ready for it with the chili. All right, Bob. Thanks for calling.
Thanks,
bud.
Bob. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Have a good one. Yeah,
All right. Bob drops off 815-254-7300. Yeah, I'm interested to see if this Crete team can extend this game out a bit and make JCA go into the third quarter plus and play.
Well, listen to the game on the radio. Cardinal Ritter was getting beat, but again in the second half, when the game was basically in hand for Joliet Catholic, their quarterback, who sounded like he was a good athlete, and their one really good receiver kind of took over in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know who was playing back there or whatever, but they did face some speed, I would imagine, with those guys.
No doubt.
Ritter. But again, this is a different animal in Crete Moni.
Yeah, no doubt. 6:45, we'll have John Ivelo checking in from Bolingbrook. Of course, the Raiders will host Lincoln Way East tomorrow night, 6 o'clock kickoff. That will be my game of the week this week. Looking forward to that. 7 o'clock hour, we will talk to John Konecki, the head coach of Crete Moni, as well as Alan Thorson, guys. Morris, 4-0 start.
They're
state
rolling.
ranked, and they got a lot of good things going on. As we talked about with Evan Bredesen earlier, Joe, it's been hit or miss here in the Will County area. There's been very little middle ground so far. We either got a bunch of teams that are 4-0 or 1-3.
Well, again, I think the COVID situation hurts three of those teams that are 0-4 or 1-3. But you're right, though. It's either hit or miss. It's feast or famine, as you said.
Joe, it's the parade of Bobs. We go back out to the phone. Yet another Bob in Joliet joins us. Hello, Joliet Bob.
Hello, fellas.
Hello, Bob.
Okay, first of all, you are known as the other Bob.
Bob, yeah.
So when you call in, you have to tell Evan you're the other Bob.
I thought you'd realize that.
Well, it probably on our end, we could have handled that a little bit better. But hey, pal, appreciate you checking in. What are your concerns about this Hilltopper team going into the second half of the regular season, if you will? We know the good stuff. We know the good stuff. We hear the game of the week. They're rolling everybody. What are your concerns for this team?
I don't know if they're going to be able to stop a spread team. The run-pass option seems to have a little bit of trouble. If you get against a better team who can control the clock, similar to what St. Ignatius did last year, they, you know what I mean? Somebody who hangs around, and limits the opportunities of the offense, something could happen.
Yeah, that's something that, Joe, you and I kind of knocked around a little bit and looking at some of the keys going into that game. And I think it's really defensively. I think, especially with Joliet Catholic's offense this year, you're able to turn around and put up a quick score, which is great. Don't you want to kind of extend some things out this week, I would think, if you're Jaws offensively? I mean, you'd love to score on every possession.
Yeah,
but
you want to control the clock a little bit more than you did the first four games, probably.
Otherwise, Joe, you might need to run a few laps before the game because you might have a long one. You might have a nonstop back and forth ball game tomorrow night. You and Dewey. Dewey better get some oxygen up there too.
Well, I tell you what, the last time, Bob, I did the Crete Moni game. It was a playoff game against Providence, and it was what Providence won, of course.
Yeah,
but it was. Crete had some athletes on that team.
It was back and forth. I remember I was in the car listening to that, and actually my photographer, Kevin, was shooting photos there and kept saying, I couldn't believe the score updates that were coming back and forth. And and it seemed like Providence kind of put them away like really fast, too. It was like all of a sudden there was like tied, and then it was like a 21-point lead all of a sudden. So it was really kind of bizarre.
It was
game.
crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about
you
it.
have an admission to make, too. I was totally wrong on one of your first shows of the year.
Okay. What about?
I had said at the time, I said, just get me to 5 wins for the Hilltoppers. You guys both kind of laughed at me, and it looks like you were right.
Well, you know the old saying, Bob, the sun will shine on a dog's butt every once in a while. So.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That one, too. That one, too. We also said the White Sox would win the Central Division, so.
I was going to comment on that. Thank you.
Fire away. You bet. What do you want to talk about? We're here for your White Sox talk.
Oh, sure.
Well, I'm excited there. Just Tony La Russa, if he keep it going at the right time and quit sitting everybody, I think he'll be okay.
I know.
Bob, the guy that I left, he and I have conversations about that almost every day.
Daily. It's a tight but very frequent White Sox circle I'm in, and that has been the nonstop subject all the way through this is when are we going to see
full tilt baseball
consistency, full tilt, let's go, let's get after it. I think for about 2 or 3 innings we saw it today. I hope.
And they showed they can do when they're playing well.
Yep.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yep, no doubt. Other Bob, we appreciate you
thanks,
as always,
Bob.
my friend.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, other Bob drops off. 815-254-7300. Joe, the WJOL EDGYTIM Big 5 poll for Week 5. Fire away.
All right, number 5, the Wildcats at Wilmington at 4-0. At number 4, the Raiders from Bolingbrook 4-0. At number 3, the Porter of Lockport at 4-0. At number 2, the Griffin of Lincoln Way East at 3-1. And at number 1, the Hilltoppers of Joliet Catholic.
So that is the Week 5 edition of the WJOLEdgyTim.com Big 5 poll. You can hear that every Monday morning with Scott Slocum. Gentlemen, first of all, has there been some type of power outage in Lockport? Because I have yet to see a Lockport person on the live stream. That's not a good sign.
No.
Someone better check on Lockport, make sure they're doing okay over there. Also, 2 interesting surprise stories this year. One we haven't even talked about this entire year so far. Okay, Evan, I need you to comment on this as well. One we have talked about. Gentlemen, Plainfield Central at 3-1, including a big last-minute win over Minooka last week. Huge win for Central.
Yeah, I matter of fact, on the air, and then Evan gave us the score right away, and I knew it was tied. And then it was a 21, I think, 21 all at the time. And I was wondering what went on. And then when we talked, you said that Plainfield Central wound up winning by a point. Yeah. Without a doubt, in my estimation, the biggest good surprise team in this area. And good for them.
I got one that might top you. Now, we don't cover them on a regular basis. I don't know why. We're going to maybe revisit that next week. Evan, Coach, Reed Custer is 4-0.
Yes.
No one is talking about the Comet. Where's the excitement in the Comet world, Joe?
I don't know.
That is a great story. Now, again, the schedule is really going to kick in. You're going to have Wilmington. You're going to have Coal City. You're going to have Hersher. You're going to have the Tone. Tully's going to bring the wood from the Tone. But hey, props to Reed Custer for 4-0. And Evan, that's a program that has not been good for a long time.
I mean, I'm going to go online right now and look and see when the last time.
It's been a while. I
mean, they even made the playoffs. I can't even remember.
So, Joe, I think that's our next assignment. Besides getting Tully on the show, which has proven to be a little more challenging than it has been.
Yes.
Might have to ride out there someday and go a little heavy-handed on Coach Tully to get him on the show. But besides him, besides Coach Tully, and Coach Tully knows I'm just joking, we gotta work and maybe get Reed Custer involved here a little bit. You know, they're within the listening area and certainly want to support our area teams for sure. But I thought I would throw those two. Evan,
just to put Reed Custer in perspective, they're 4-0.
Right.
The last time they had 4 wins or more in a year was the last time they made the IHSA playoffs.
Which was when?
2009. They went 6-4.
There you go.
And
So
with
a
4
6 and-
wins, they're going to
So a 6-3 regular
Probably
season,
get in.
and then lost.
And they're going to get
in the first round.
and they're going to get a ton of playoff points with the remainder of the schedule.
Right.
So that should be okay too. So
They
could
have
very well
not.
get in.
They have not made the playoffs since the 2009 season,
Wow.
and
There
now
you
they're
go.
sitting at 4-0 right now.
There you
That's
go.
pretty remarkable.
That
All
is.
right, congrats to Reed Custer. We are definitely going to work on the
Yep.
comments and try to get the head coach maybe next week on the show.
Yes.
We're going to step aside. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to open up the phone lines again and talk about all kinds of things. IHSA, and well, if you want us to, a little White Sox talk too. You're listening to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
With Amdro, you can enjoy your backyard like never before. Our round-the-clock pest protection gives you the peace of mind to enjoy your great outdoors without a care in the world.
Cannonball!
Okay, we can't defend you against the splash zone. But when it comes to ants and other pests, we've got you covered 24/7. Find Amdro in the insecticide aisle at your nearest retailer.
Take the fear out of home improvement and tune in to 1340 WJOL every Monday at noon for the Prepare to Repair show with R.J. Graham Plumbing. Thorough discussions with licensed experts. Prepare to Repair will empower homeowners through education. Have questions? They have answers. With over 20 years of experience, Steve from R.J. Graham Plumbing and his guests will cover the must-knows for your upcoming projects. Tune in every Monday at noon for a home, entertainment, and community radio program. The Prepare to Repair show with R.J. Graham Plumbing.
Are you struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Michelle Kerfin handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else and more money too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen and get to a better state with State Farm. Find Michelle online at insurewithmichelle.com.
The Dave Ramsey Show, where common sense meets dollars and cents.
Patrick in Texas says, my wife thinks we should have an emergency credit card. How can I explain to her that this is a terrible idea? Well, the last time on earth that you need to go into debt at 18% interest would be at a time when your family has an emergency. What you need is money. If you had $20,000 set aside for an emergency fund, you wouldn't need an emergency credit card, right?
He's back. Dave Ramsey on WJOL, weeknights at 6.
Join Jake and Elwood this Friday night at the Old Joliet Prison. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience as the original Blues Brothers movie will be shown on a 50-foot screen inside the prison yard at the Old Joliet Prison starting at 8 p.m. Your movie ticket includes self-guided tours of the prison with access to select buildings, Blues Brothers photo ops, and Bluesmobile display area too. Food and beer will be available to purchase along with merchandise as well. Tickets available online at jolietmuseum.org and at the prison this Friday night.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere.
Week 5, undefeated Joliet Catholic facing one of their toughest tests of the year when Crete Moni comes to the stadium. Friday night's coverage kicks off with Jody's Hot Dogs. Friday Night Lights at 6, followed by the WJOL Game of the Week. Crete Moni at Joliet Catholic at 7. Live from the stadium, brought to you by Tire Tracks USA.
White Sox! White Sox! Go, go, White Sox! Let's go, 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 White Sox! We're with you all the way. You're always in there fighting and you prove your will.
Keep it going.
In the Midwest, we're gonna root, White Sox.
I just felt like marching around the studio. Welcome back. Edgy, the dancing machine. Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Edgy Tim, along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro. No, I'm not winded. And Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen sharing that little gem with us. Good old Stubby. I hope Stubby's still getting royalty somewhere for that song. I seriously doubt it. I'm sure that left long, long ago.
Yes.
Or is owned by the Reinsdorf Corporation, one or the other. But again, good to hear the oldie but the goodie. And hey, we're just in a good mood here tonight. So welcome back. Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview, sponsored by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. We appreciate them sponsoring the show every week.
Captain Stubby is no longer with us.
Well, yeah, I figured. I mean, that was recorded in what, the 50s? So
Captain Stubby, otherwise known as Tom C. Fouts, passed away in 2004.
So is there a Stubby yet that the royalties got passed on to? And why haven't we seen a Captain Stubby cover band yet?
My favorite here is in his Wikipedia page. It says he got the name Stubby from being short and stocky as a child.
That was a shocker.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Boy, knock me over with a feather.
Yep. All right. We are here to talk high school football. We have open phone lines, believe it or not. We left this slot open for you guys. 815-254-7300.
Where's
Joe?
Lockport?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm getting nervous.
I am a little nervous because
I might
they
have
have
to
been
call ComEd and find out if there's an
strong.
outage.
They have been strong with us all year. I mean, the moment we go on the air, they want to start talking Porter football. So what do? Evan and Joe, I go out and see Lockport, and I'm ready to talk Porter football, and no one's anywhere to be found. 815-254-7300. Where are you, Porter Nation, when we need you?
Was there a big crowd out there?
It was okay, but so you got to remember, HF is limiting ticket sales like they usually do. So, but it was a good turnout for Lockport for sure.
Good.
So I brought it up since Lockport Nation just disappointed us, sadly. Let's talk about the Porters. Joe, as I told you, very good team. They do a lot of things well. I think defensively is a strength. I don't think there's any doubt, which no shock.
Yeah.
With George Chart as your head coach, defensively you're going to be very good, and I think they're very good. Offensively, very workmanlike. Solid running game. Again, Ty Schultz is back. He split some time with, I can't remember the young man's name. So they have a couple of decent running backs there. They're pretty productive. O-line is solid. They're not overly big up front, but they're obviously well-schooled by Coach Pammer. And again, they do a very nice job offensively. They are very, very deliberate, very, very straightforward on offense. They want to run the football, Joe. They want to drive the field. They want a 10, 12, 15-play drive, eat up a lot of clock, and finish with points. Which makes sense because you got a defense that hopefully is going to get you the ball back relatively quickly, give you the ball, and let you do what you're doing again.
And with that defense, they're going to stay in every game.
Every game. That defense will keep them in every game. I truly believe that. Now, what scares me is I don't know who the go-to guy is. Maybe it's Ty Schultz, and I know he's just coming back from injury.
Right.
So maybe he's the guy. I mean, Ryan Little, the wide receiver, is a big-time wideout, a target. I mean, Hayden Timmelsack even admitted it in the postgame that, hey, he's been my guy since grade school. There's a connection there, and we've all seen it before. Big kid. He's probably 6'4", about 190, so he could very well be a big-time guy. But I think I'm looking more from that game-breaking, quick-hit back receiver that you can kind of get up the seam and go and try to get off a big play when you need one. I don't know if it's there, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And you know how important that is in the postseason.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
So again, I think it's, let's face it, it's most likely, and again, I'm excited to go see Lincoln Way East and Bolingbrook because I think obviously I should have a pretty good handle on how the Blues going to play out. But I think Lockport's going to be right there with everybody. And I think, again, when it comes to playoffs, show me the seeding and show me the bracket, and then we'll tell you how it looks from there. But obviously with 1 through 32 seeding, that changes some things as well. Hopefully Lockport gets away from maybe this area directly, or the one area you don't want to run into is, say, the south side of Chicago with Rice. Although Rice is probably 7A, Marist, Loyola, you want to avoid that as much as you possibly can. But Yeah, it's a very solid team, Joe.
Good.
Very solid team.
Good for the Porters.
HF.
And good for the city of Lockport.
HF is the same now than when I saw them in the spring. There's some talent. There's some things that they can work with to improve. I don't know where all the overall numbers went. They're not there again in the fall. And the depth is not there.
Where did Coach Buzz go?
Crown Point, Indiana. So I don't know if there was a big luxury bus that picked up a bunch of kids and drove them over to Indiana. I don't know. But it is interesting, the numbers. Now, again, Coach Alexander, great guy. Again, Joe, I've told you I've known him 20-plus years. He will, no doubt in my mind, get things turned around. And look, HF's going to be a playoff team this year. There's no doubt in my mind. But, again, one of those programs where you expect a very high ceiling for them. And I just don't know if they're right now where they're at, where they've been under Buzz.
Right.
And so I'll give Coach Alexander a handful of years to go back and re-recruit the hallways and load up that program again. And they're going to continue to win games. It's HF. So there you go. My thoughts. 815-254-7300. Agree, disagree? I don't care. Call 815-254-7300. Joe, let's start going down the games of the week in the Will County area.
All right.
Lyle at Coal City. The Kohlers at 2-2. I think they're going to go on a little bit of a run here, but Lyle is never easy.
No, but good thing for Coal City, they're playing at home, which they're very solid. Lyle, I think, is 1-3, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for the Kohlers. Hopefully, they got everybody back and healthy, and I'm looking for them to roll a little bit.
Coach Tully and the Piatone on the road at, as we mentioned, Joe, 4-0 Reed Custer.
I know we mentioned Reed Custer strength of schedule. I know. Most likely the game last week between Piatone and Wilmington took probably about an hour and a half.
Yep.
In a 10-0 game, but I'm looking for Piatone to go into Braidwood to get a victory.
Always a tough matchup, especially on the road. Wilmington, Joe, 4-0 at Herscher.
Yeah, Herscher's 2-2. Again, I don't know about the big question for me with Wilmington. Defensively, they're very solid. Offensively, if the quarterback can play, I just don't know the extent of his injury. I don't know if he was playing last week or not. I kind of doubt it, but I could be wrong. But that's a key. But I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
Well, this week it's referred to as the big one, the game that the Lamont team to be named soon nickname gears up and gets ready for, Joe, all year long. The Lamont team, still looking for a nickname, will host Thornton Fractional North.
The Meteor.
The Meteor.
Again, Lamont,
we have a nickname at TF North, by the way.
Well, I'm going to go with the Indian here. They still have a nickname. Indians is still the nickname for now. I just think defensively, much like Lockport's defense, Lamont's got a very, very good defense.
I know.
I know. I'm just kidding.
They're going to win a lot of games.
Yep.
Joliet Central, thankful, back playing. Yeah. Glad to see both Joliet teams back on the field this weekend. At Plainfield East at 1-3, looking to get things turned around, hopefully for them starting this week.
Right. Again, being off 2 weeks, I'm going to go with Plainfield East. Yeah. And something good about Joliet Central, though.
Yes.
I did a little research.
Fire away.
Again, it was a little bit of sickness, but mainly injuries. They only had maybe about 17 players maybe to suit up. But for what I'm hearing is a solid freshman program. They've played all their games, and they got good numbers on the freshman team, and maybe that's building something for the future because, again, the coaches deserve that effort out of the kids, and I'm sure they're doing their best to are going to try to continue to keep those kids in the program. So 3 or 4 years down the road, they'll be competitive.
And I will contend. And we've seen this. We talked in the I guess we'll call it the pregame show with Evan.
Yeah.
I still think if I had to put a number on it, I'll say maybe 40% of these cancellations, forfeits have been more number issues than COVID issues.
Right.
It's my take.
It could be.
Prove me right or wrong. Go ahead.
Right.
And I just think that you're seeing that more and more. Now, we talked about earlier, Wheaton St. Francis, out of their 5-game schedule, and again, it happened to them again this week.
I saw that.
Now they're playing Thornridge because Westmont suddenly had a COVID issue early in the week. And again, could very well be COVID. So I'm not making any accusations, but When 4 out of your 5 games,
That's unbelievable.
It's unreal. So something's going on. And look, by the way, Wheaton St. Francis is a top-ranked team in 4A. They're just a slot or two below JCA in the rankings. So it's just interesting that, first of all, they moved into a different side of the Metro Suburban, and all of a sudden no one wants to play them. So
that's a shame.
I know. It's not good. Joliet West, Joe, again 0-4 on the road at Plainfield Central, 3-1, coming off a big win against Manuka last week.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe a little bit of a letdown, but the one thing with Joliet West, not playing for 2 weeks, you just don't know how those kids are going to react. I'm gonna go with the Wildcats.
Romeoville 0-4 on the road at Plainfield South.
Yeah, Plainfield South 1-3, but again, playing some, I think, some good football. I know they got beat pretty good by Plainfield North. But I'm going to go with Plainfield South here.
Joe, I still don't know what's going on, but Manuka at 1-3 all of a sudden on the road at Oswego. This is not a good mix.
It is not. Oswego started out 0-2, but played 2 very quality teams.
Yep.
You mentioned them before. They've won their last 2 weeks. I think Oswego is starting to hit their stride.
Especially if Oswego gets the win here, then you're looking at Oswego versus Oswego East.
Right.
And again, we've seen this before with Oswego East where they get off to a great start. But I think the schedules had a lot to do with that, too.
Right.
Oswego's non-conference and who they've played hasn't exactly been close to what Oswego's been. So, again, the rivalry game in the Oswego district could definitely have a say-so in the conference, no doubt about it. And finally, Joe, Yorkville on the road at Plainfield North. Tigers off to a nice start at 3-1.
Right, at 3-1. And Yorkville's a good team. But, again, I'm gonna pick Plainfield North here just because of the schedule and again, very tough to beat at home.
Yeah.
They are.
Yep. No doubt. All right. Well, that's going to take us up to this commercial break. We will step aside. When we come back, we will bring in our first guest of the evening. Always enjoyed talking to this gentleman. He has a big game tomorrow night out at Bolingbrook. It's John Ivelo from your Bolingbrook Raiders joining us here on the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
When it comes to clothes and goodies for your place, if you really want to stand out, check out Morningstar Mission's Treasure Chest Thrift Store. Why? Because you're one of a kind and you want things that match who you are. If you're looking for clothes that fit your unique personality, you'll find them at the Treasure Chest thrift store, like shirts and shorts for the nice weather still left here in Joliet, scarves and jackets for the upcoming fall, socks, shoes, purses, and more. And when it comes to decorating your house or apartment, you can find things so much cooler than what you'd find at a regular retail store. You'll find lamps, chairs, wall hangings, pre-loved items that feel right at home. When you shop at the Treasure Chest thrift store, you not only help extend the life of items that would normally end up in a landfill somewhere, you restore the lives of men, women, and families who come to Morningstar Mission. Every dollar you spend provides food and care for someone in need. Now that's unique, just like you. For more info, check out morningstarmission.org. That's morningstarmission.org.
Just like a coach gets his players ready to take on an opponent, Tire Tracks wants to get your car or truck ready to take on the road. Whether you're in need of a new set of tires from brands that you trust, including Bridgestone and Firestone, or you're looking for a full-service automotive repair shop that does oil changes, brakes, and more, Tire Tracks has a local store near you, including Bradley, Frankfort, Mantino, Morris, Wilmington, and 3 locations in Joliet. Tire Tracks, a local family-owned business for local people. Online at TireTracksUSA.com.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
The best football in the state plays right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
And welcome back. It is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the Coach Joe Rodagero and Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen, spinning the dials. And again, we are happy, excited to bring in our friend, the head coach of your Bolingbrook Raiders, John Ivelo, joining us. And John, appreciate you taking time. And, here we go. Lincoln Way East once again.
Hey, when you've got a coach, a sheriff, and a guy named Edgy calling to have you on your show, you can't deny him. So.
It's a winner. It's a winner. It has to be.
That's right.
It has
cannot deny you guys.
Want to just get a feel, how has this week gone in practice? And again, 4-0, I got to imagine mood's got to be really, really strong when you're 4-0 versus maybe not 4-0.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, we had a good week of practice. It's a fun week always, but then again, we always have fun at practice. So the fact that we are playing Lincoln Way East and, we haven't had as much success against them as we'd like in the past, but, it's always a pleasure preparing, and it makes us a better program one way or the other.
John, defensively, you got, to me, what the most impressive thing, couple things to me, you're giving up 51 points only so far this year in 4 games, is, of course, your secondary, which we talked about at the coaches show. You were very high in that, Mr. Walters and Walker and Marcus Williams at linebacker. But again, what impressed me was the fact that, your front 4 can put pressure on quarterbacks. And if they're going to go what I call 9 routes or, long routes or whatever, that front 4 can really get after it, and the quarterback doesn't have much time. Have they still been able to do that over the last 3 games? It sounds like it, the way you've been giving up not too many points.
That's a great point and a perfect example right there. But yes, we haven't had to blitz a lot because we've been getting our pressure from our front 3. We've been running a 3 front for a little bit now. Okay. But yeah, no, they've been putting pretty good pressure on there, and we haven't had to. So yeah, they're doing a great job. They're probably about 220 apiece. All 3 of the guys, they're very fast. This might be one of my fastest teams ever, defense and offense combined.
Yeah, that's what impressed me. Though it was a 4-man front the first game that we did, but how quick they are. The defensive end, I can't the young man's name that's really good. The defensive end, they just impressed me when they were even throwing the quick screens or the smoke screens, as they they call them. He was out there making tackles. I mean, that's how quick those guys are. That was impressive to me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, they are, and they're a good bunch of guys, and they take the game. They like to play the game. They play hard, and we've had some really good, strong play from some of our other guys too in the secondary. And that's like you said, that's probably one of our strong points right now. And they're all over 6 feet tall.
That's a good thing.
It is.
Hey, John, I know going into the year, Rob had talked about a younger team. You're seeing a lot of juniors in a lineup, which you really haven't seen out of Lincoln Way East in a long time. How different is this team maybe compared to the last few years in particular?
They're 4-1. 3-1. They lost to a very good Naperville Central team, barely, and on a controversial call, from what I understand. And so, if you've never played East, like we have over the last 15 years or however many years we've been playing them now, you really don't understand what they're all about. It is a unique team, and there's not quite a program like that in the state, I don't think, unless you get into the Catholic schools. It's just a machine. They keep reloading. They're very well coached. They don't make mistakes. If they do, they correct it. And you may get them on the first, before the first correction, but after that, they're going to stuff you. So no, it's again, we've played them. We could tell anybody anything they ever want to know about it, but I think the people that wish that have to play them, they know they better be prepared, and the people that play them for the first time learn a lot about them once they meet them.
John, and defensively against that offense, and I don't want you to give away game plan or anything else like that, but what is one thing that you want to accomplish defensively against them?
Defensively,
yes,
if we can get pressure with our three, that'd be great.
All right.
If you get pressure with our
I tell you what, if the way I've seen them, if they can get that job done, I think you'll be doing okay.
Yeah, as far as O goes, it's hard to move the ball in them. I think Naperville Central rushed 30 times for 50 yards. Andrew did about the same. Just they're very stingy, and we're not the greatest throwing team. Everybody knows that. So we got to see. I guess we'll take anything. Positive yardage is the name of the game.
Right. Is Jaquan Howard a 3-year starter for you?
He is. He's a 3-year starter for us, and if you recognize the name, of course, his older brothers, of course, Chizante was before him, yep. And then John before him, and actually John was on our state team, and that team is being honored at halftime.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to lead you into it.
Yep. Oh, that's nice.
Talk about that a little bit, John.
All the Howards, all of them.
Talk about how that you were able to bring that together and get that state championship team out tomorrow night against Lincoln Way East.
I think somebody was just looking up at the press box and said, hey, this is the 10-year anniversary over the summer. And then we started putting together with boosters and athletic department and our coaching staff, and had some of the, put it out on social media. And then some of the guys took the reins that are local and started, just keeping in their little groups and getting hold of people. And I think we're scheduled to have about 40 of the 60 some kids there tomorrow between players and coaches. But yeah, no, it's turning out real nice. And we got a couple little gifts for everybody that shows up, and should be a nice night. Be good to see everybody again.
How difficult is that going to be for you, wanting to maybe revisit and visit with some of those guys versus trying to stay locked in and focus on the game?
Well, to be honest with you, our game plans are always pretty simple. So we've got very, very quick, simple adjustments at the halftime, and we usually stand around and watch the band the last few minutes. So it shouldn't be an issue. We should be able to go over there and say hi to everybody. And I've got an adequate staff. They're very talented, and they can take a few minutes without me and the other coaches that were involved in that state team and talk while we go shake hands and celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
Talk about that coaching staff in particular. I know you've got a few new faces on that staff this year. Fill us in, some of the newer guys in particular.
Some of the newer guys. Well, we picked up Alex McNulty. He played safety for us back in the day and went to Eastern Illinois and had a very nice career, multiple year starter and captain, I believe, down there. We added him in the secondary. Bob Cora is still around, and got to be his 50th year, somewhere like that. He's been there since the school opened. And then we picked up a guy by the name of John Benish who came to us 2 years ago. He was a lower level guy, but then when John Grayson left us last year to go to Morton and become a defensive coordinator, we brought John up to the varsity, and he's been a pleasant addition. Carl Roops, of course, is in his third year as a defensive coordinator, but he's kind of taken John under his wing, and we're making them co-coordinators, just teaching new guys the system. Offensively, Harvey Jackson's in his third year with me, and then he was an assistant before that. He's bounced around a few places, but he came back to us. And then Dave Moak, of course, our offensive line coach. He's been with us for a long time. Spent a little time at JCA and at Joliet Junior College. But he's been back with us for several years now too. So that's about it.
Awesome.
I think I got everybody.
Yeah, sounds like it. I can't think of anyone
we
who
had
I
a
missed.
bunch of guys. We had one of our coaches leave for Florida, take a job. Of course, Sean Coltis, who left us for Indiana, is now out in Florida coaching. He's a defensive coordinator at a school down there in Jacksonville area. So we've lost quite a few too, recently and in the last couple of years. So, and we're fortunate that we've got some people to replace them with.
No doubt about it. John, again, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And I'm telling you, I'm fired up. I'm looking forward to seeing some of those familiar faces from that state title team tomorrow night.
You'll recognize a few of them, I think. But we're looking forward to a great atmosphere and a great contest, and welcoming our friends from the Lincoln Way East over to Bolingbrook. And I really do. I just think it's going to be a nice atmosphere for everybody.
Yeah. All right, John. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Good luck, John.
Well, thanks, guys. All right.
All right. John Ivelo joining us, and we appreciate John taking some time. Very confident John Ivelo joining us. Did you catch that?
Yeah, he sounds ready to go. And again, this is the beginning of what I call the gauntlet of the conference.
Yeah.
The HF next week, and then Lockport the week after that. So,
yeah, nothing easy there during that stretch.
Not at all. Hopefully you stay healthy.
I thought going in this was going to be a ball game.
Yes.
I still don't think any differently. I think this is going to be a lot tighter than I think people realize. And I don't know, John cooking something up over at Bolingbrook this week. We'll see. Interesting.
On paper, it looks like a defensive struggle.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. And John mentioned the importance of running the football. It's something that they've done consistently all year.
Right.
And that's just one thing that Lincoln Way East has kind of shut down defensively all year. So again, that's going to be a huge key going into that ball game tomorrow night. So again, that is a 6:00 kick out at Bolingbrook. And again, looking forward to that state title team being back at Bolingbrook.
I remember doing that game
night.
at WJOL. Yes.
Yep. Should be good. A lot of familiar faces, and Aaron Bailey, get a chance to see him.
Yes.
And some of the other guys as well. Should be a lot of fun. So again, looking forward to that tomorrow night. That will be my game of the week. The game of the week here on 1340 WJOL, of course, is Crete Moni at Joliet Catholic. And again, Joe, just we're going to get a little bit more into Crete. We'll give you a little more background on the Warriors. John Konecki will join us right after the 7:00 break. But some good games in the area for sure.
Yes.
Let's finish out the schedule here before we go up against the 7:00 break. We'll save Lincoln Way East I actually kind of covered Lincoln Way East and Bolingbrook. Lockport at 4-0 at Sandburg, Joe.
Hopefully not a letdown for the Porters. Sandburg 1-3. And again, with the new coach, just trying to get themselves going. Again, I'm picking the Porters there.
Lincoln Way West, they're at home. They host Stag.
Must win for Lincoln Way West, and they'll get it.
Andrew at Lincoln Way Central. The Knights are at 2-2,
and I think Andrew is either 1-3 or 2-2. I forgot to get their record, but again, a must win for Lincoln Way Central.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Marengo on the road at Morris. We will have Alan Thorson on in the 7:00 hour. Joel, the Redskins are rolling.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking to Alan about his team, and they are absolutely rolling right now. I'm picking the Redskins there.
Speaking of must wins, well, besides the White Sox, Providence hosting Marion Central Catholic. The best part about this game, Joe, it's at Providence.
I was just going to say, you don't want to go to Marion Central Catholic on a Friday, that's for sure.
I like the Celtics in
so
that
do
one.
I. Both are 2-2, but I just look at the schedule. Providence.
And St. Francis at 0-1 will take on Siena Heights, Michigan in Michigan, 11:00 Saturday. Hour 1 in the book. Stay tuned. More Stubby and the Buccaneers coming your way. And no, that's not Joe and myself. This is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL Will County's News Talk Sports.
Looking for the best sports and gambling information? Check out State Lines. Hosted weekly by Jason Gotch and Kevin Berger, State Lines takes a look at football betting, including the best angles on the NFL, sides and totals, futures, prop bets, and more. Jason and Kevin also go in-depth on the Chicago Bears, giving you the latest news and betting insight for the monsters of the Midway, as well as the rest of the league. And on each episode, the guys will give you their 3 best NFL bets for the coming week's slate of games. There will be betting talk for other sports too. What's hot in the sports world? We've got you covered. Jason and Kevin give you a fun and informed look at sports and gambling. Want the winners? Check out State Lines. Available wherever you get your podcasts. That's State Lines, Illinois' #1 pro football gambling program. Available now on your favorite podcast platform and on the web at statelines.show.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. UC Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. UC Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
Steve Bannon. They must hand over materials and appear at depositions in the weeks ahead. It's not clear if any or all of them will comply or try to avoid cooperating in court.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. Police in Tennessee are looking into a deadly shooting at a grocery store as an act of workplace violence.
Today, what the result was victims were able to get medical treatment much faster because of the integration between police and fire.
Chief Dale Lane says one person is dead, 14 were hurt. This employee was working at the checkout as the shots rang out.
It first started in the deli, and I heard some gunshots. We tell it was balloons popping. So when it kept on going, we said, no, there's gunshots.
The suspected shooter was found dead inside the store of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. An advisory panel to the CDC is recommending a third dose of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for people 65 and older and for residents of long-term care facilities. Democratic leaders in the House and Senate say they have a tentative framework that will pay for most, if not all, of President Biden's $3.5 trillion Build Back Better program. But some party members say that's still too much.
If you want the price tag to go down, tell us what you want to cut. Do you want to cut childcare? Do you want to cut paid leave? What is it you want to cut out?
Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. The FBI has issued an arrest warrant for the boyfriend of Gabby Petito, who was found dead in a national park in Wyoming last week. Brian Laundrie is charged with unauthorized use of Petito's debit card. You're listening to ABC News.
Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? What if it didn't take years or even months to dramatically improve your net worth? What if you could do it virtually overnight? I'm not talking about the lottery. I'm talking about proven financial secrets used by the mega rich to build their massive fortunes. Once only available to an exclusive club of billionaires, this secret is now, for the very first time, available to you. Any ordinary person can use this powerful information to build massive wealth. It's like a financial wormhole. You know, something that moves you from one side of the universe to the other in the blink of an eye. But in this case, it's moving you from barely paying your bills to financial freedom in a snap. Learn more at financialwormholes.com. Get off the paycheck to paycheck hamster wheel and start enjoying life like the mega rich. Go to financialwormholes.com. It costs you nothing, but it changes everything. Do it today, and tomorrow you could start living the good life. Financialwormholes.com. That's financialwormholes.com.
Some scientists say the end of the pandemic could be in sight.
Forget the expensive in-flight drinks. Flight attendants say many passengers are drunk before they get on the plane.
Not only has this practice not stopped, it is encouraged and promoted, giving passengers the false idea that they can bring their own alcohol on board and encouraging as much drinking as possible.
Flight Attendants Association President Sarah Nelson asking a House committee to change the to-go alcohol rules and add tougher penalties for air rage passengers. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Delta Airlines says it's put more than 1,600 people on its internal no-fly list and has submitted more than 600 names to the FAA. The carrier wants all U.S. airlines to share their no-fly lists with each other. Ballots are still being counted in California's recall election.
Now, 9 days since voting ended here in California, 92% of the expected vote has been counted and reported. Counties have 30 days to fully certify results. The margins are holding, showing the recall overwhelmingly failed. 63% of voters said no to recalling Governor Gavin Newsom. Only 32% said yes. That is similar to what Newsom saw when he won the governor's office in 2018, when he got 62% of the vote over Republican John Cox's 38%. Alex Stone, EBC News.
The European Union wants to require the smartphone industry to adopt a uniform charging cord. This is ABC News.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and the chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Daria Albinger, ABC.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on WJOL. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes. Heard every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on WJOL.
Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? What if it didn't take years or even months to dramatically improve your net worth? What if you could do it virtually overnight? It's like a financial wormhole. You know, something that moves you from one side of the universe to the other in the blink of an eye. But in this case, it's moving you from barely paying your bills to financial freedom in a snap. Learn more at financialwormholes.com. Do it today, and tomorrow you could start living the good life. Financialwormholes.com. That's financialwormholes.com.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19. And 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate. Use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere. From County Line Road to the Indiana Line. From Reed Road to Boughton Road. Football is king. High School Football 2021 on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. This is hour number 2 of the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen, spinning the dials. And glad to have you back and glad to have you aboard this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview. Brought to you by our State Farm agents, John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And again, the WJOL game of the week is tomorrow night out at Joliet Memorial Stadium, ATI Field, as the Hillmen will host Crete Boney. The Warriors come in with a 3-1 record. And Joe, as you well know from past experience, always come in ready to rock and roll. And we are going to bring in the head coach of the Crete Boney Warriors. Going to live up to that state line, a little east of the state line, and bring in John Konecki, good friend that I've known John for a long, long time. And John, great to have you on board. And we were trying to figure out in the break how this game came about. Let me see if I'm right on this. I know Joliet Catholic side, I believe they had St. Joe's closed down, so they ended up having a week opening. And John, from your side, is this the impact of the Rich merger for you?
Yeah, 100%. So that's, we had week 5 open, and we were looking for games all across literally the United States. And then, St. Joseph closed, and they opened up a game for Joliet Catholic, and I reached out to them, and they were looking for a game as well. And we said, well, let's do it. And here we are.
One of the many things that we've touted about you and your program for a long time is you don't back away from anyone when it comes to scheduling. Is it harder than it looks getting those games lined up, or is it just a case of you know what you're getting into when you schedule a JCA or a Brother Rice or one of the many teams you've played over the years, and let's just go for it? Or is it a little more of a dance than that to get them done?
No, I think that, I've said this before, and, Tim, thanks for having me on, and Coach, it's great to talk to you as well. We want to play 14 weeks of football. And so for us, the regular season is, we're going to focus on it. We're going to, every week is a season where we're going to have, we do everything in our power to win football games. And we want to play the best competition outside of our conference that's possible. And that goes all the way back to when we had a very good team in 2009 and we played Providence. And we just hadn't seen that level of play coming out of the Catholic League Blue. And we knew that as a program, we needed to see that. And then we've been scheduling, a lot of tougher teams over the years, and it's really paid fantastic dividends for you. If you go back to pre-COVID 2018, we go 0-3, we lose, and we rip off 10 in a row. We end up in the state finals, and so we really believe that it pays tremendous dividends for us to have as tough of a schedule as we possibly can have, and then when you go to the playoffs, everybody's 0-0, and you go from there.
I know that you've had some of your assistants that have been with you for a long time. Talk about some of those assistant coaches on that staff, because, what amazes me about your program, John, and year in and year out, certainly you deserve a lot of credit, but your coaches do as well. You have your systems and what have you on both sides of the ball, but you seem to be able to make your kids fit in that system and you don't miss a beat.
Yeah, the longest tenured assistant I have is Greg Murray. He goes by the name of Tip, and he's the mayor. Wherever I go, he knows somebody, and I love having him on staff. He's fantastic, and he's an amazing component to our program, and a huge part of our success. And and we've been able to interchange coaches throughout the years, and with that, myself and Greg have really kind of been the stalwarts, and we've kept the program going. And then to answer the second part of your question, well, we've really been able to do it at our places. We have a system in place, but we really tried to make the offense and the defense work for the personnel that we have, as opposed to make the personnel work for the system that we have. And we've had, we've had multiple different systems. We have Laquan Treadwell in 2012 and Lance Lenore, and we're throwing the ball all over the yard. And then you go fast forward to 2015, we have Clint Rakovich, and it's, hey, Rakovich right, Rakovich left. And, it's,
seems to work out. I think it's working for him now at Northern Illinois as well a little bit. And then in 2018 was a blend of all of it, and we were able to, with Trayvon Rudolph, we were able to do that. And I think that's really been a big part of our success, is just trying to figure out what it is that our kids can do, and then making sure that we put our kids in the best position to be successful.
John, I'm the one that bothered you early this week for today.
No, yeah, absolutely.
but before I get up, talk about your team. You already mentioned the young man, and I had the pleasure. I know it didn't turn out too well for you guys, but the game where you guys played Providence in the playoff game, and to me, the most electric guy on that football field was Trayvon Rudolph. What was that young man doing now?
Is it Northern?
Well, last year, the COVID shortened season, he just led all of FBS in kick return yardage. He's currently playing wide receiver at Northern Illinois. So he's what he did against Providence, he just went ahead and he took to the collegiate level. He's currently at Northern. He's a wide receiver and kick returner, and he is electric. In fact, when they played Wyoming between Clint and Trayvon, I think they had 4 of the 6 touchdowns, and it was it was a fun day to be a Warrior sitting on the couch while I was watching.
I bet it was, Coach. All right, speaking about your team, defensively, I mean, giving up only 66 points so far. 2 of the guys that I got from Edgy, Xavier Slaton and Brandon Harry. Talk about those guys and any other guys you want to talk about on the defense.
So Xavier's going to be a 3-year starter for us. He plays defensive end and defensive tackle. He's the younger brother of Chris Slaton, who's been in and out, been playing in the NFL and most recently the Atlanta Falcons. And so Xavier's he's a stalwart. He move him inside, move him outside, and then Brandon Harry is also a defensive tackle and defensive end. His younger brother Deion Harry, who's playing at Howard University, and Deion played for us several years ago. They do a great job up front, really trying to cause havoc, taking on blocks, and and they're fantastic against the run, and they're just absolutely electric in that when teams drop back to pass. And I think that when you're talking about our defense, you can't get away from Terry Eliason, who's our inside linebacker. And Terry's we brought Terry up as a freshman. He started for us as a 9th grader as a will linebacker. We've now moved into inside linebacker, and Terry has been playing inside linebacker for us for 4 years, and he's picked up a couple of different FCS offers, but he's really, he's the glue that holds that whole defense together and make sure that everybody's in the proper places and they're just ready to go when the ball snaps. And I will just say this about Terry and really for all of our guys. I mean, they're really students of the game. Terry is like listening to Terry sometimes is it harkens back to as studious as somebody like Mike Singletary. Like Terry will come out to practice and he will tell us, No, that's not right. They don't actually do that. And I go, he's correct. Because he's watched so much film and he's digested it and he's been, with us for so long. So he's just a fantastic piece to our defense and really the glue of that defensive unit.
I know offensively, again, Josh Franklin, huge week for you last week. And talk about him a little bit, John, and what he brings to the table. And well, knowing the kids that you've had under center over the years, I got to imagine speed is probably pretty high on the list there.
Yeah, so Josh is definitely he's electric with the ball in his hands, and I say this, and I say it intentionally. If you ever watched the highlight films, not a lot of people know this, of Allen Iverson playing football. I mean, that's when I watch Josh, it's like watching Allen Iverson when he was playing football. He's moving at a different speed than everyone else on the field, and he really he's a crazy competitive kid who wants to be the best, shows up every day with a ready to work attitude, and is just an unbelievable leader. He does a fantastic job, leading our offense, and you start speaking of our offense, you can't go far without speaking about our Lionel Billups, who's I think he had 11 catches last week and 245 yards. Between those two gentlemen, I mean, they are a fantastic tandem and 1-2 punch. And then you throw our tailback in there with Chance Joseph, and we have a nice inside and outside option there. And our offensive line is how our offensive lines have always been. We find 5 or 6 very conscientious kids, and they do a fantastic job for us. And we're just excited to have the opportunity to play on Friday night.
Talk about the challenge that JCA brings, especially to your defense this week.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Obviously, Joliet Catholic presents a challenge to anyone who's playing them, and I think for us, they've done a nice job, blending some of their traditional, double wing game with their some of their more spread options that they've done. We have to we can't allow huge run plays. We can't allow those things to happen, and we have to make sure we're doing our run fits, and that's obviously easier said than done. But we're prepping and preparing. If we can do that, and you can do that against any team, really slow down that run game. You're sitting in a great spot.
Yeah, if anyone thinks this isn't anything but a huge battle Saturday or Friday, you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah,
so be a great game. And John, it's interesting, again, and I tell people this all the time, and they got to think about it for a minute, and then it settles in. I mean, John, you've been one of the most successful public school programs in the entire South Suburbs, and you have maintained that. I mean, going back to when you were an assistant coach at Crete. How has the whole COVID lockdown and what we've seen with football over the last year plus, how has it impacted Crete? How have the numbers been, and what kind of struggles have you guys faced during and now after that, trying to keep your program together and to continue to hit that high level that you've been able to?
Yeah, so that's obviously COVID. The COVID times really put a wrench into all of our plans. Really, we're the varsity's in a great spot because those are the kids who have been consistently with the program and they understand where we're at. And I think that when my program and other coaches that I talk to across the state, our lower levels are in a reboot phase where we have to reboot what it is that it means to be part of our program. And we've taken a little bit of hit as far as numbers are concerned. My hope is that as we continue to get back to pre-COVID ways, we're back in the weight room and we're back recruiting our hallways. That we're able to grow those numbers organically, and we have more kids out, and we continue to continue on the success that we've had. So Tim, you say I think it's 14 consecutive state playoff appearances, right? I think that's since 2007, right? Or actually before that, it predates me. It's since 2005. So we've had a fantastic run, and I think that obviously we're all going to work through this. I think that we're all in a great across the state, the programs that have been historically powerful in a great spot from the varsity standpoint. And I know that we're not much different than anybody else, where we're in really a reboot phase when it comes to those lower levels.
John, always great to talk to you and get caught up. And again, wish you the best of luck tomorrow night out at Joliet Memorial Stadium. This is the game of the week. You can hear it on 1340 WJOL in town, as well as WJOL.com all across the world on the web. And John, again, just wish you the best of luck tomorrow night.
Yeah, good luck, John.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate everything you guys do for high school football. We'll see you tomorrow.
You got it.
All right, John Konecki joins us from Crete Moni. And again, Joe, it's a program that's had a ton of success, and that's a program that is not going to back down from anybody.
No, and again, they've had great players. I mean, you talked about the guys on this team.
And it's funny. It's kind of, you talk about Xavier, Slaton, and Brandon Harry. They're all following footsteps of older brothers. And it's been that deal with the Crete program as well, where they've had families that have gone through there, and kids follow kids, and they stay loyal to Crete. I know a lot of those kids try to get drawn by Catholic schools around the area, and they stay home and they play for John at Crete.
And we talk about traditions, Joliet Catholic, Lincoln Way East, in Providence, Bolingbrook. There's a lot of tradition down there also.
You know what I'm thinking for this game? I'm thinking you should stick around and listen to us after the break, and we'll break it down a little bit. No, I'll share it with you now. Defensively, I think you're going to see the Mascuda defense.
Okay.
Where it's going to be fast break. They're going to try to spread you out and go man on man and just try to be able to beat gaps and just cause havoc in that run game. Right. And I think they're going to throw everything they can at you with their defense, with Crete's defense. And I think they're going to want to make JCA do something they don't want to do tomorrow night.
Right.
I think that's what they're going to attempt to do.
I thought about this game, ever since I, emailed John, and I was thinking about this, and I know a staple that they have is speed and big guys up front, and he talked about those guys with Slaton and Harry.
So when I hear Allen Iverson carrying the ball, it's a little scary.
I'm
not
looking
gonna
forward
lie.
to seeing this
Not
young
gonna
man,
lie.
Josh Franklin. Yeah, if he's just as good or just as good as Trayvon Rudolph, we're the Joliet Catholic fans are in for a treat.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen any of that footage of Iverson playing
It's pretty
football?
amazing. Have you ever seen footage of LeBron James playing football?
Yes, because wasn't he a nationally ranked tight end?
Tight end.
Because I remember hearing his junior year that he was a nationally ranked tight end, and I remember listening to that
go back
report
and watch.
in the car with my dad, and I remember my dad going, "What is he doing playing football?"
He's a great quarterback, Allen Iverson.
Oh, Iverson was a great quarterback.
Yes, he was.
No doubt.
Yep.
All right. We appreciate John for joining us. And that'll be the game tomorrow night, as I mentioned, right here on 1340 WJOL, 7:30 kickoff. Strap it down, boys. It's going to be a fun one.
It is.
We'll be back. When we come back, we will go out to Grundy County, joined by our friend Alan Thorson from the Morris Redskins. We're talking Morris Redskin football, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and we'll be back. This is the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
When it comes to real estate, we have a buyer tsunami, an overload of buyers. Know more about your largest investment, your home. Find out why. Tuesdays at noon with Get Real with Eddie or GetRealWithEddie.com. Eddie Rudiger of the Rudiger Group at Baird & Warner will help you learn that buyer demand is here to stay. Current home remodeling ideas, interest rates, and the hottest colors to paint. Keep yourself and your home up to date. It is your biggest investment. Real estate information on your home, Tuesdays at noon with Get Real with Eddie or GetRealWithEddie.com.
It's time to get down and dirty as I turn over at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet for the final round of Teen Go. We're racing for boobs and raising money for breast cancer awareness. Saturday, September 25th. Plus, spectator races and up-as fireworks finish around. This event will sell out. Purchase your tickets online in advance at DirtOval66.com and on-site till sold out the night of the event. That's DirtOval66.com. And coming Saturday, October 23rd, the eve of haunted destruction. DirtOval66.com.
When bad weather hits, 1340 WJOL is there for you.
Probably been mid-80s or so since we had something that caused this much damage. So this is a pretty significant event for us. We are incredibly fortunate. There is not a single reported injury.
The WJOL news team and meteorologist Rick DeMaio are here to give you watches, warnings, and the aftermath. We're your weather station, Joliet and Will County. We are 1340 WJOL.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to make car care make sense with personalized service reviews that swap the car talk for straight talk, so you know what your car is telling you and what to do about it. Where highly trained Jiffy Lube service technicians have your back, helping you take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. Plus a full range of services from oil changes and tire rotations to filters, wipers, and more. We've got what your car needs, right when you need it. So when you're ready for whatever's next, putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy. Visit ChicagolandJiffyLube.com to find a service center near you.
Throughout the centuries, in different cultures, all funerals have been an essential part of life. Each one being unique and meaningful to help us honor our life and to say goodbye to our loved ones. Here at Farkas Funeral Home, we have affordable, customizable packages to help you create a meaningful service for your loved one. From cremation with memorial services to full traditional burials, we offer it all. Call us today at 815-725-0100 or visit us at farkasfuneralhome.com.
I learned long ago, if you've got the right tools and a little know-how, you can do it yourself. And no wall of mine's going to get some dime a dozen paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Premium performance from its smooth application to that tough, washable one-coat finish. It exceeds expectations of what makes great paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Available exclusively at Menards.
For all the scores, from football to basketball to baseball, it's WJOLSports.com.
Oh, good. I thought he meant we had to do all that. I don't think so, voiceover dude. Welcome to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. You might get a random baseball score here if, like, one of Joe's grandkids are playing or something. Other than that, I
don't know if Kane's playing tonight.
Oh, by the way, the White Sox won Game 1 of the doubleheader.
They did?
They did. They won the AL Central pennant. You didn't hear that earlier here on the station, but we'll report it. And right now in Game 2, no one cares because we won the American League pennant, Central pennant, in Game 1. So who cares about Game 2? All right, enough of this nonsense. We are going to go out to the phone lines, and I'm bringing in this very important guest. He is the most important guest we have on the show right now. His name is Alan Thorson. He's the head coach of the Morris Redskins, the 4-0 Morris Redskins.
Yes.
And Joe,
yes,
you might be able to run for a higher office in Morris when you're 4-0 as a head coach. I think so. Alan, thanks for taking time and welcome aboard.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate getting to talk to you guys.
The most important question I have, and please forgive me for my lack of Morris area knowledge. Are we getting closer in the middle of Cornfest season right now?
No, we're right in the thick of it. It's this week, so what every coach loves is going back-to-back weeks with homecoming and Cornfest. So it's we just get every distraction out of the way. But yeah, we're right in the middle of it right now.
And here's why, because I mean, I know what a big deal Cornfest is in Morris, in the area. And I was driving, where was I coming from? I was going down 80 and saw a bunch of combines, and I thought, oh, hey, look, they're obviously they're harvesting the corn, and thought, it's fall, you feel it in the air a little bit, and you can't help but think of Morris around this time of year. You just can't.
Yeah, no, it's it is kind of nice though. I mean, in all seriousness, just seeing people back out around and in the crowds and even just the football games. I mean, we've had huge, just great crowds this season, and it's fun. Just kind of getting things as close to normal as possible, and so Cornfest and everything is going on right now.
I mean, obviously at 4-0, you got to feel good about the start. I know the schedule's been a little different this year, maybe compared to years past early on. What are some of the positive takeaways so far?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. We're 4-0. I really like this team, and I like how we're playing right now. And I think I talked maybe a little with you guys on the coaches show about we had a good mix of some seniors coming back that got some good time in the spring. Our quarterback Zach Romack and his brother Aiden Romack, and just a good mix of some good skill players and linemen. But we just like everybody, get some new faces as well, and we got 3 new offensive linemen starting for us. And I had some, just like every coach, I think, questions going into the season. And honestly, I mean, just the way these kids have played so far, the way we've started out the year, I really couldn't be happier. We started out with a good win at Coal City, and in your typical week 1 game, it wasn't perfect, but it was still a good win for us. And honestly, ever since then, we have just improved week after week, and especially our offense has just really been on a roll. So, it's been a great start for us.
Alan, last week against Woodstock, I want you to talk a little bit about your offense line. 370 yards rushing, I believe it was. That's pretty good.
Getting it done.
I know Ashton Yard had 117 yards, I believe, last week, and Zach threw the ball real well. But talk about those guys up front, because without those guys, you're not going to get that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, actually, just tonight we always give out our Player of the Game awards on Thursday night, and we gave all 5 starting linemen the Player of the Game for last week because I mean they just dominated the game. I mean they controlled the line of scrimmage from start to finish, and I mean, their improvement has really been just fun to watch as this season has gone on. The two returning starters, Justin Hemersbach, he's a 3-year starter and he's only a junior. I mean, he started as a freshman, and that's not something that happens a lot for us at Morris. And he's a really good special lineman for us, and he's obviously the anchor of that line. And Nicholas Perry, he'll be a 2-year starter as a junior. I mean, they're 2 very good linemen that they anchor our right side, and they just, I mean, they're big boys and they really know how to move some D linemen. But Parker Pierce, who is our only senior starter, I mean, every one of these guys, 4 of the 5 are juniors. So Parker Pierce is our one senior starter. He's our center. Aiden King and Justin Newman both go about 6'5", 300 pounds each on the left side and can move well. So, I mean, this is a very big line. And like I said, just the progression, the way they're starting to get comfortable playing together. I mean, we haven't punted the ball since week 2, and honestly, going back, we have not had a possession that hasn't ended in a touchdown in the last since week 2 also. So I mean, we have scored on every possession, and it's a makes us look like great coaches, and it's a lot of fun to coach a team like that when you're scoring like that.
Fill us in on Marengo a little bit. Certainly a head coach that's very familiar with this area. And I don't know, after this season, he might not want to be as familiar with this area. But fill us in on Marengo. Yeah, I mean, Coach Forsyth, that used to be at Minooka, obviously. So we have some familiarity with each other, and which kind of makes it fun, just to renew an old rivalry. But no, like you said at the beginning, we're playing a lot of new teams with this conference realignment or whatever. So the 2 Woodstocks and even Antioch is a non-conference, and now going into Marengo, they're 3-1. They've got a really good quarterback that can throw the ball around. I mean, it's going to be a nice challenge for our defense. I know they're pretty excited to go against a quarterback with these type of numbers. I mean, he can really spread the ball around, and they're another one of those teams when you saw them against Wilmington and you saw the score, you start to think, maybe they're not that good. But watching them on film, and I think we're all different teams since week 1 for sure. And these guys really are better. They're really scoring a lot of points as well. And I don't know, again, if their quality of opponents have been great, but regardless, they're 3-1 and they've won 3 in a row and they score a lot of points. So, we're pretty excited for the challenge. And like I said, just getting another home game in front of our crowd. And, like I said, the kids are playing excellent football right now. So we're pretty excited for it. Yeah, that quarterback's a junior. His name is Josh Holst. And again, big kid as well, Alan, probably 6'3", about $180.
Yeah, and he runs the ball well. Obviously he can throw well, and they spread the ball to a lot of different guys. He's got a couple really good receivers, but he spreads the ball out. And that's, I'm kind of excited for the matchup as well, because we're pretty big on our quarterback. And Zach Romac's having a heck of a year. And again, another thing I think I mentioned in the coaches show, I think he's one of the more maybe underrated quarterbacks in the entire state. And this he's special, and he's really having a good year. I think he's got 11 or 12 touchdowns between rushing and passing. And, we've kind of been trying to hype him up a little this week and say, this is a good matchup. Obviously, he's more so going against their defense than the quarterback, but, he's pretty amped up for the challenge to just kind of see who the better quarterback is.
What have you seen from the newer teams on the schedule this year? And one of the concerns I had, I don't know if I'd call it a concern, but I was wondering how some of those teams would match up from a physical standpoint, because let's face it, Alan, you come from a conference that plays old school smash mouth physical football. Has that been a difference maker, do you think? Or is it a different just mentality and a take on football from the Woodstocks and the Woodstock North? But you obviously have done very well against both of them.
Yeah, I definitely, the physicality is probably the perfect word. That's kind of something been a cornerstone of how we want to play football in Morris, is we want to be physical. Regardless of if we're on offense or defense. And that's really what we preach to those O-linemen. But you see the same thing on defense. And the last team we played, just a regular Woodstock High School, they had some nice players. They had another nice quarterback, but I really think the physicality is what stood out. Is our kids just kind of came out, and I think we just hit them in the mouth early, and I think it kind of shocked them. And once we got rolling, it just kind of, the game got out of hand pretty quick. And the same was true when we played Woodstock North, and even so much, I'd say Antioch. We were up 21-0 against Antioch, I think, in the first 5 minutes. We just came out really, kind of hit them in the mouth and kind of shocked them a little bit. So I think that's probably what I would say the biggest difference, or, just not being familiar with these teams, is I don't know if they were ready maybe for the physicality that we're going to bring, or Sycamore is going to bring. And kind of shocking the numbers. And I know numbers are down, with a lot of programs, but all these guys have canceled their JV games with us. They just don't have the numbers to have JV games. So we're going and picking up. We got Oswego last week, went down to Bloomington to get a JV game. So that was kind of surprising, because I know the Woodstocks are, bigger schools than us, but both of them They and Marengo as well don't have JV teams.
Alan, with all the good things so far in the 4-0 start, I'm still coaching, former head coach. What are some of the things that you still need to work on in your mind?
It's again for us that's exactly we have a great start. And there's going to be some good tests coming up. We're not naive to that. We'll have Keeneland, a Sycamore, LP. We've got some good teams coming up, but we really do believe in just kind of concerning ourselves with ourselves and trying to get better every day. And, just the consistency, and really we've been very consistent, but I want to continue to see that week after week. I want to see, our offensive line just continue to get better and communicate that communication part, with the new faces. And we saw that on defense as well. We've gone from a couple weeks of seeing some run heavy teams to now we're seeing these, pass first type teams to where, I just want to see our defense continue to build on their communication with each other and just get comfortable. And as long as we can do that and just keep improving week to week, as long as I've been at Morris, I don't know if I've probably seen a bigger week 1 to week 2 jump in improvement that I saw out of this team. These guys have really something's clicking and they're getting it. So if we can continue to do that, I really like where we could go at the end of. So hopefully, we got a long road to go, and I'm not even going to think about playoffs for a while. But I think this group's got the potential to be pretty good.
But working with all these different offenses, like you said, like this week, they're going to try to spread you out, throw the ball all over the ballpark. It definitely has to help you guys and the coaching staff to prepare for what is down the road. And hopefully a long run. But I know you don't want to go that way yet, but it's going to prepare you where if you run up against a team, let's say in the playoffs, that you've just about seen everything. Yeah, no,
when we went against Antioch, we saw a triple option team that was, they were a good team. They had some physical running backs and big, tall receiver, but that was a run heavy team. And we really had to put a specific game plan together for that. And our defensive guys did a great job. And then, obviously, Woodstock North was a similar scheme schematically to Antioch, and then these last two are more spread. So, we're really going into even some of just the conference games, let alone the playoffs, but, preparing for a Keeneland who runs a lot of spread, and, Sycamore will throw a lot of things at you. They'll go 5 wide and then run double wing at you as well. So, we feel like it really has prepared us. And like I said, with some new faces and just some youth that we have on the defense as well, I think the more they can get to see those types of offenses, it's just going to help them become more comfortable with whatever scheme we throw at them.
Alan, again, always appreciate you taking time. And hey, if you're out there, it's Cornfest. Morris is at home. Go to
it's
a
all
game,
good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, the crowds have been awesome. The new stadium, and getting to see it full finally, it's a lot of fun. We're a lot of excitement right now around this program, and we're hoping we can keep it going.
Alan, we appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow night.
Good luck, Alan.
Yep, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Alan Thorson from Morris joining us, and again, just we appreciate him taking time out of his schedule, and it's rolling, Joe.
Yeah, I again, just by what Alan was talking about with his team, he really likes this group of kids. The diversity in the offenses and the defense they see week in and week out. This could be a team that could go far in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I know they don't want to talk about that, but I can do that because
you're allowed.
I'm allowed to. But I think that this is a team that can go someplace and go pretty far.
That was the whole physicality point when they merged this conference was one of the big questions I had going in, because I've seen Morris and I've seen Sycamore and I've seen these teams play in Keeneland, and I know how they play, and they're all very similar in style and approach and physicality, and yeah, I think that's what the Woodstocks and the Woodstocks North and the Antiochs are having trouble with, because you just don't see it. And again, and I hate using it as a barometer, and it's not north against south, because I've seen some really good physical teams up north as well. But you look at playoff success, and you look at the playoff success of the teams in, say, the Sycamores, the Morrises, the LaSalle Perus, those kind of programs, versus maybe not as much playoff success over the recent years from a Woodstock North, and an Antioch. I think that tells a lot.
Right. And again, we talked about tradition. Morris, of course, big tradition. And big. When I think of Morris, I think of big linemen, which they have this year. good running back, good quarterback, solid defense, just very physical.
Just gonna
as you
smash
said.
in the mouth.
Yeah, just punch you right in the mouth.
Yep. There's no doubt about it. That is Morris football to a T. And again, congratulations to the Redskins. And yeah, hopefully I'll have an option to go see Morris in the playoffs, and always looking forward to making the trip out there. Haven't covered a game on the new turf yet, Joe. I'm a little disappointed.
I just saw some pictures in the newspaper.
it's amazing.
Rob Osherly did the game. That's where I got some information.
It's amazing.
To ask Alan tonight, and he mentioned it. The last two games on his schedule is LaSalle, Peru, and Sycamore. So they'll definitely get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The end of the schedule definitely gets ramped up for Morris over the next handful of weeks. So again, we're going to be here for about another 15 minutes or so. Would love to hear from you. 815-254-7300. Joe, when we talked earlier in the show, probably before we even came on. So, I mean, it's literally feast or famine in the area this year.
Right.
So, Lamont 4-0, Reed Custer 4-0, Piatone 3-1, Wilmington 4-0. And then you've got, again, we talked about what a great story Plainfield Central is so far. They're 3-1. But then you have 1-3s and 0-4s. Who comes out of that pack?
Boy, Lincoln Way West, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
We mentioned last week. Yes.
I agree. I think they find a way to get on a roll here and challenge for a playoff spot. And again, when we talk in playoffs, we need to remember we're going to see a much different field this time around.
Yes, we are.
I think you're going to see more and more 4-win teams get into the playoffs more than ever. And again, there's various reasons for that. Step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will wrap up the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview. You are listening to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
The day is finally here, and you're invited to the wedding of the year. Breast Intentions of Illinois proudly presents Tony and Tina's wedding on Friday, November 5th at the Jacob Henry Ballroom in Joliet. Tony and Tina's wedding is the theater experience where everyone is family. Join Breast Intentions for this one-of-a-kind night, an immersive comedy show staged as an evening of nuptials for two Italian-American families. There's real food, real dance, and real mingling with the cast of lovable characters. Breast Intentions of Illinois provides crisis intervention for those facing financial hardship while battling breast cancer due to the cost of treatment or time off work. 100% of all donations made to Breast Intentions of Illinois always go back to people and families dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis. Support Breast Intentions of Illinois at Tony and Tina's wedding on Friday, November 5th at the Old Central Church at the Jacob Henry Ballroom in Joliet. Get your tickets now at breastintentionsil.org. breastintentionsil.org.
Got a problem with your car? Here's a chance to talk to the experts. Listen in this Thursday at 9:35 to Car Talk with the experts from the service department at Darcy Buick GMC. Call in with your questions about any vehicle and get honest, experienced answers about your car. Plus, get helpful tips for keeping your car in great shape for every season. Listen to Car Talk this Thursday at 9:35 a.m. Brought to you by Darcy Buick GMC on Essington Road in Joliet and at darcymotors.com. Right here at 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
At Amita Health, we believe every part of you matters. To us, you're more than a set of symptoms. You're a whole person with family and work responsibilities, hobbies, hopes, and dreams. That's why we provide more than just healthcare. We provide whole care. It's an approach that considers every aspect of your life and helps us understand your unique needs so we can treat you the way you wish to be treated. Learn more at amitahealth.org/wholecare. Amita Health, in sickness and in health.
Do you know someone in the Hispanic community who wants to learn the formula to success? Tell them to tune in this Saturday at 11 a.m. for Your Family, Your Future, and Your Finances, a new Spanish show dedicated to helping the Hispanic community manage their money by making, saving, and investing money easy. Host Jasmine Sandoval and her guests will bring information on how to prepare for your retirement, save for your children's college education, and more. Listen to Your Family, Your Future, and Your Finances, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to noon here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Malloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Rakovich as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Malloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
For all the scores, from football to basketball to baseball, it's WJOLSports.com.
Sure, we can do it all here. Welcome to the Week 5 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. And, well, we're going to turn this segment a little bit into White Sox talk. So, by the way, Joe.
Yes.
I know you're highly disappointed. The White Sox lost Game 2 of the doubleheader 5-3.
Kopech started through 2 innings, struck out 4 guys. So
there you go. So what I would like to know is, was it possible for like the White Sox bench? Could they have like a half barrel on the bench? Because you won.
Yeah.
Now, okay. All right. So maybe you have to have the red Solo cups and maybe they have to have a Major League logo on them. But could you literally just have all the starters sitting on the bench just getting hammered?
Could you see that?
What a bummer, because you clinch.
I'd love to know what the lineup
and then you still got to stay.
Yeah.
I imagine that it was one of those situations where you pan over to the bench like in the third or fourth inning and you realize, I don't know anyone sitting on that bench.
I don't know if anyone was on the bench.
Wait a minute, where's Abreu?
They're probably back in the dugout, I would think.
Back in the clubhouse.
Where's LaRussa?
He's with his bottle of wine in the clubhouse, sitting in his office.
So hey, as long as he's got someone driving for him, he's fine.
Well, he got the bus driver, hopefully in Cleveland.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting postseason run for sure.
Yes.
This is a brutal lineup they ran out there.
Oh, so what was it? Let's hear it.
At second and leading off, they played Cesar Hernandez.
Okay. Well,
Adam Engel was in left.
Okay.
Garcia hit third and played short.
So it's the usual lineup, but okay.
Grandal was the designated hitter.
Who didn't want to do it, but they had no one else.
Goodwin played right.
Okay.
Vaughn was at third. Sheets was at first.
Man.
Vaughn must have got activated then.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I haven't heard his name in a while.
Sheets was at first. Hamilton played center, and then Zach Collins caught.
Vaughn played third?
Yeah, that's what it says here. It says Andrew Vaughn, third base.
He was at first. Yeah, I would imagine he could play there.
1 hit, 2 ribbies.
Just don't get hurt. Third base.
Yeah. Billy Hamilton will pitch tomorrow. I mean, seriously, it's like, okay,
hey, give my boy a cat.
We're not going to catch Houston. Although I will say, 6 out of the last 9 for Houston is against Oakland. Yeah. And Oakland's still like 3 games out of the wild card, but they still have a theoretical shot of getting there.
Yep.
Yes, I'm also sure they'd like nothing more than to throw a wrench into the Houston
plan
season in any way, shape, or form.
Joe, get on camera, will you?
I'm sorry,
Joe. You're the looks of the show.
Oh, yeah.
When you're not on the camera.
I'll tell you what, that's low grade stuff. That if it's me,
it fails. So who's the American League wild card going to be? Right now, it's the Yankees in Boston, but I think Toronto's a half game.
Watch out for Toronto.
I know.
And I think the Yankees and Red Sox are playing this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees and Red Sox are 3, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
yeah, it'll be on TV all 3 days.
Yeah, I know. We got lucky with that one. Normally we wouldn't have lucked out. Yeah, Toronto's a half game back. Seattle's 2 back. Oakland's 4 back.
Yeah, not looking good for Oakland.
No.
How about the Cardinals?
Well, they got beat today.
But they had won, 11 in a row or something?
10 or 11, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this is great.
Are they the National League wild card? I think they're the second team right now.
Yeah, it's the
they're up by
Dodgers.
3.5.
Well, the Dodgers are like a 15-game lead in the wild card.
Yeah.
14 and a half.
Yeah.
And then it's St. Louis.
So I think they'll make it. Is it safe to say that the
are-
Dodgers will be in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's going to be St. Louis, too, because right now they're 5 up on the next two teams, which
5
are
now.
Cincy and Philly. San Diego is 6 out. What the heck happened?
Oh, as a White Sox fan, I feel so bad for San Diego. Wow.
Did you see the Machado yelling at you?
Yeah, what a bummer, huh?
How happy are you he did not come to
Thrilled.
Chicago?
Absolutely thrilled.
How happy are you that he
Happy
said
number
no?
one, not to sign Manny Crybaby Machado. That's number one. And then number two, I forget his name. The other guy that we traded for Jake Peavy on San Diego, the superstar.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah. Sorry, Evan. I tried to block that out of my memory for good forever and ever and ever.
You at least just have to occasionally hear the name. I'm in a town where the
get-
guy I like got traded to the team across town. So now I'm watching Eloy hit bombs for someone else.
And we thank
I'm
you
hearing-
every time.
I'm hearing Eloy going to the playoffs.
Yeah, yes.
I know it's coming around, though. I know Cody Hoyer is going to end up being your closer, and I know Nicky Two Strikes is going to end up being a standout second baseman. It'll be thanks, Sox.
But it
What?
hurts
coming.
now.
Yeah, right. They've got,
Yep.
their 3, 4, 5 guys are pretty good. That
Who?
was the Wisdom kid. The Wisdom is a pretty good player.
Who are you?
I watch baseball. I
I
watch
know you
more
do.
Sox than anything else.
I
But
know you do.
Did you
Sox
The Sox
talk?
are 9.
Did you ever, when you were managing, did you coaching in high school, did you ever pitch position players or no?
Well, but see,
In
it's
high
different in
school,
high
it's
school
different.
because
Yeah.
a lot of them
Yeah.
pitched
Yeah.
at probably Little League.
What I tried not to do is throw a catcher, pitch a catcher, or a shortstop. Because
'Cause you need 'em.
those two guys are the
Gotta
most
have 'em.
important people
Yep.
in my eyes on the field.
Yep. Joe, who's the White Sox starting rotation? We already talked about this off the air.
Giolito, Lynn. The big question mark is my 3 guy. If Rondon, who pitches Wednesday, doesn't have it, it's got to be Keuchel. Keuchel or Cease.
Bullpenning.
No, we already tried that once already.
It didn't work
with
too well
Mad
in the
Ricky, and
postseason.
Zach and I are Zach. Look on the roster. Who else do we have to pitch? No, serious. That third game.
So I'm going Lynn because he's my guy.
I know he's your guy.
Giolito. And I hope it's Rondon,
I hope it is too.
but I think it's going to wind up being maybe Cease.
Yep.
And Cease being your quote unquote bullpen game. Or it'll be Keuchel and
Get your
Cease will be
bullpen
ready.
Get your bullpen
And
ready.
Cease or someone will be ready. Or Lopi will be ready
Yep.
to go 4.
Ooh, that puts some pressure on that bullpen in a 5-game series.
Yeah, it does. But when Cease is on, he's on.
Yes, he is.
He's got the best stuff on the staff. There's no doubt.
I agree. I agree
But
with that one.
I also have visions of like 16 balls in a row in an inning as well.
It's amazing
with
how,
him.
to me, it's just like, I mean, these guys are professional. How you can go 2 or 3 innings, strike out 6 in 3 innings, then go out there for the 4th and get tattooed. I just don't get that.
I don't either.
Is it seeing a guy the second time through the lineup?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
something.
is
Yeah,
that,
you know what?
or no.
I think no. I just think they try to be finer, and just throw the ball down. Let them hit it.
All right, boys. American League, National League, World Series. Who you got?
Who did I say when we first started? I got that written down someplace.
I know I did at the beginning of the year, but I haven't done it since. I know Evan's pulling up the bracket now. American League, I know it's Tampa's a 1 seed.
In the American League, we have Tampa, Houston, Chicago, and then as of right now, the wild card teams are Boston and New York, with Toronto a half game back.
Okay, so we kind of don't know the wild card. And I actually think that wild card could be a pretty tough team.
Tampa's a team to beat. It could be the same World Series as last year.
Tampa doesn't scare me.
No.
I think we've matched up pretty well with Tampa.
I'm going
White Sox.
I'm going White Sox Giants.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd love to see the Giants. I really would.
I know. White Sox Giants. I think the way that Giants team, they've been on a run, and I see no reason for it to stop now.
I would like to see that.
Got to watch out for Milwaukee, though.
I know. Milwaukee's got the pitching that can take them.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
They do.
So I will go early on, Joe. I did not pick the White Sox to win the World Series.
No.
I'm going to go Houston, which breaks my heart. And, wow. God, I don't like the National League. I mean, I like them, but I guess the Dodgers. I don't know.
I'm going to go,
I'd
like
love
I
to
said, I'm
see
going to go
San
Tampa
Francisco.
Dodgers again.
I think the Sox get to the championship game.
I hope
But they won't
do.
be Houston then if they do.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yep.
Oh, well.
I hope we're all wrong.
Oh, sure. Jeff Brook, one of our listeners, finally at 7:56 puts in a comment. Joliet size wears down Crete in the second half. All right. Thanks, Jeff, for listening. Hey, thanks to everyone for listening. That'll do it for week 5. We will be back same time, same place, same bat channel next week. For the Sheriff, Evan Bredesen, for Coach Joe, I'm EDGYTIM. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week. Have a good week. Good night, everybody.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas